Hey guys, welcome back. This week I'm looking at one of the guns I looked at whilst I was at the British Shooting Show a little while back. The Fabarm Elos N2 RS Sporting. Evolution of the original Elos. They've made some modifications to the gun that have made it, in my opinion, a bit more shootable. It handles much sweeter than the old gun. And it's still a bit of a bargain. I think the RRP on these is around about 1,800 quid. And for the amount of adjustability you get on them, I don't know, I think it's a pretty good shout versus, say, for instance, a Billy Basic 686, depending on what your requirements are, of course. Let's do the ollie bits and I'll tell you about my shooting impressions. 32-inch tubes on this, 10-7mm tapered top rib with no tram line, white front bead, steel mid bead, ventilated top and mid rib, 18.4 board, 3-inch chamber, superior steel proofed. Coming back into the action, it's pretty typical of Fabarms and the sort of lower end Caesar Guarinis. Very similar lockup, very similar jointing. The top lever actually has quite a nice little detail on it. This sort of geometric interlock pattern that is continued on the fences and underneath on the trigger plate. I really appreciate it. It's kind of this shape, but done as a sort of tessellated pattern, and it looks really nice. The forend is your sort of typical, reasonably slim sporter forend, machine cut or laser cut checkering, with quite a nicely sort of finished latch for the forend. The pistol grip has a bit of a palm swell. It's quite nicely done, not awful at all. And the radius and reach of the trigger is pretty nice. It's an adjustable trigger unit. The comb is a kind of a nylon material, adjustable. Either you like the look of it or you don't. It's sort of neither here nor there for me, but it is quite warm to the feel, which is probably nice on a winter's day. And a reasonably generous recoil pad that seems to take quite a lot of the sting out of the recoil on this. 8.5 pounds all in, and the balance is pretty damn good. It's a little bit forward of the pin, but generally handling is quite nice. The extended multi-chokes seem to pattern pretty well. I've got a slightly weird selection now. I've got 1/4 and 3/4 in, but to be honest, I shot a line of skeet with this, no problem at all, and it seemed to pattern pretty well. Generally, handling is actually quite nice. I don't mind this at all. 14 3/4, 15-inch length of pull with this particular pad. It comes to the shoulder and swings quite nicely. All in, for a bargain gun, kind of at this end of the market, I think it's quite well pitched. The detail on the action, either you're going to like it or you're not. It's kind of got this kind of slightly sporty RS look to it, which is Focus RS almost, with a nice sort of blue dot and the blue accent. Again, it is what it is. Either you're going to like it or you ain't. But like I said, I do very much appreciate this geometric pattern, and I think it's one of the things that could be expanded. A lot of guns I think would benefit from a slightly more sort of out of the box engraving pattern. I think it would look quite nice. I have generally enjoyed shooting it. I am pleasantly surprised by this gun. It is nice to shoot. The grip dimensions are nice. Forend is decent. Okay, downsides. Metal to metal fit isn't fantastic. Around the fences, there's a notable gap. This might just be this gun. The wood to metal fit's great, and the trigger pull is very long. It's not bad. It's not graunchy. It's quite smooth and it breaks quite light, but it is long, and it's something you've got to get used to. That said, majority of shooters at this end of the market aren't going to be worried too much about that, as long as it shoots and hits things that you pointed at, which it does. All in, I think it's a nice little package. Might be up your street. Guys, thanks for tuning in. Please do like, subscribe, share, the usual stuff. If you ask me a question, chuck it below. Equally, I occasionally do Q&A sessions on Instagram, so follow me there too. See you next time.